What's up, OGs? Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Strain reviews, taste testing, weed haul, whatever you want to call it. In today's video, I got, if I can do it without dropping it, quite a few different strains to show you guys. We're gonna go over the looks, the taste, the smell, the high, pretty much everything that you can look at or judge when you get some new flower. Let's zoom out a little so you guys can see the jars. The first one we got here, I actually don't even know the strain name. All I know is it's some type of runts cross. What a surprise, right? And then surprise again, some more runts, but this one is actually called Black Runts. I know the strain name of it. And then next up in this jar, we got some lemon skunk, something different that I'm definitely not used to getting. And then next up right here, some blueberry pie. Again, another different one. Runts I feel like are just so common nowadays. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's different for everyone where you're from, but I feel like a lot of growers are just pushing the runts out heavy. Move these over here. And in today's video, we're gonna be smoking out of the 180 grid. Got the Jared Bennett slide. As usual, this thing looks beautiful. So I'm just gonna go down the row, no specific order. This is just how I put the jars down. This was the strain that was unknown, but I know it's some type of runs, and that's also what the guy said. Smells really good. Let's do looks first because I know you guys are dying to see this, so let me get my phone for the good old close-ups. So first look at the unknown strain, but the strain that we know it's runs. Looks pretty frosty, pretty caked up. You can see that the nug size is not too big, but they're decent. The nugs are very, very fresh. If I can try and break one up, it's a little hard with one hand. But it has a nice snap to it. Frosty. Got the purple to it. Not crazy purple, kinda has a little bit of the green in there as well. But this stuff it looks pretty good. You know, I picked this up and I was very happy with it. It's not gonna blow me away, but this is some good weed right here. Last look at this one. Let's see, just by touching it, my fingers are getting even caked up. So bag appeal on this one is, I mean, it's not bad. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it, but not blowing me away. And now the smell, which I feel like is the deciding factor, because you can have flower that looks good all day, but if it doesn't smell good, you know it's probably not gonna smoke good or taste that good or even get you high. This stuff, I'm very happy with the smell. It smells exactly like a run strain, and if you don't know, it smells like candy, kind of fruity, maybe a little bit of grape in there. And I've had this strain for a couple days, so I've really been able to get a good idea of what it smells like, try and describe it the best for you guys. And this one is like a run smell, but with fruit punch. It smells really fruit punchy, and normally I'm not too big on those strains. And when I say I'm not too big on them, it's like not that I won't smoke it, but I prefer something that's more like earthy gas stuff like OGs and Gorilla Glues. But this stuff, it has a gassy kick to it, I'm not gonna lie. It's like fruit punch and octane, kinda. Fruit punch, grape octane. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. And you guys already know, the smell comes out so much more when you grind it. So I'm gonna grind it up and then take a hit of it as well. Tell you guys how it smokes, how smooth is it, does it get me high? Sometimes when you grind up your flower, different aromas can become more present than when you just had it in the nug. And this one smells pretty much the same, just stronger now that it's broken up. The mystery runt strain that I don't know what this is, but it's pretty good. I hope you guys are all smoking along with me. Cheers. See how it smokes. Well, I already know because I've been smoking on it, but... That's a tasty one. That's one of those ones where the taste really translates well. Sometimes when you're taking a bong rip, you know, it can be a little harsh smoke, but that one, pretty smooth too. Like, I feel like that was a decent sized rip. The coughs are gonna be a little delayed, zoom in all the way, but the taste is there and it's not that harsh. It's hard to like scale this all from 1 to 10 because you got the looks, the taste, the smell, the smoothness. Overall, I would just say this is some pretty good weed. I'm happy with it. It's not something I would want to pick up all the time, not because it's bad, it's just the flavor. I'm not like too big on smoking candy strains all the time. Like I said, I'd rather have something gas, but these are cool. Every once in a while, have something different to smoke. Ideally for me, I want to have a few different flavors, so if I get tired of a certain strain, I can just, you know, switch over and smoke something else. On to the next strain. This video is probably going to be a little longer than usual because I have to go over 4 strains, but for a lot of you guys, the more the better. I know you guys like the long videos. Next up, the Black Runts. This I don't got too much of, probably like 5 grams or so left, but it's enough to show you guys, and some nice nugs in there. The Black Runts. First look at it, very purple, very frosty. It has that bag appeal, you know what I'm saying? If you like purple weed or you can admire something like that, this is it. It's very pretty to look at. Whoops. Nice nug structure. Good size nug as well. Not too big, not too small. Frosty. Nice and fresh too. Not much bad to say about this one, only good. It's just I'm not too much of a runts guy. But I like runts every once in a while. When I say I'm not much of a runts guy, I mean it is, and not every day, not all the time. This stuff is nice and fresh too. Let me see if I can... Ooh, that was a perfect snap. Ooh, you can see those full trichome heads. If I can stop shaking. Deep in there. So this is some really good looking weed. Bag appeal shit, purple. You look at it and you know it's runts. At least nowadays. From holding it, my fingers are keefy too. Now, how does this stuff smell? This one is really easy to describe. It smells like a cleaner or some type of like detergent. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's some type of weeds or some type of strains, whatever you want to call it, that have this type of smell. Let me, yeah, it's like, it has that runts candy smell in there, but it's mainly like a cleaner and a detergent, but in a good way, you know? I feel like the idea of smoking detergent or soap chemicals sounds nasty, but when you're describing a weed smell, it's different. Like, when I describe GMO, I describe it as like dirty socks or stinky feet. Obviously, that sounds disgusting, but for weed, it's different. But yeah, the best way to describe this is a cleaner chemical smell with the back end of that fruity candy runt smell. Gonna grind some of it up and see if any other aromas or different notes come out of this, and take a hit, see how it is. This is one of the strains that I haven't smoked too much since I've got it. I have an idea, but so when you grind it up for this one, this is one of those strains or one of those flowers where there is a new note that kind of comes out that I wasn't really smelling too much in the nug form, and that's that kick to it. It has a little bit of like a soury gas to it, which is strange. I wouldn't really expect this, but still mainly cleaner chemical smell, but this has like a little sour gas coming in the back end with that candy runt smell. The Black Runts. Let's get a smoke test of this one. Cheers, everyone. This runts is good too. It's almost hard to compare the two. They're so different. Like, they're definitely a different phenotype. And the first one feels like a cross of some sort. I feel like I like the first one a little more, just because the smell or the nose, but that might be preference. I feel like they're the same caliber. It's just which smell do you like more, which flavor. There gets to a point sometimes with flower where you can put two next to each other and it's like, you know, one or the other is not better. It's just they have a different smell profile. But that stuff is good. That rip felt a little harsher, but that's probably because I took, you know, that first hit, and the more rips I take, it's probably each hit is going to feel a little more harsh, so I'm not going to take too much into account of that. And then next up, we got the blueberry pie. This one also, there's only maybe like 5 grams or so, not too much of it. Let's do the close-ups first. So the blueberry pie, bag appeal, very good looking. You can see that shit looks frosty as fuck. Super caked out. Nice size nug too. When I really get in there, you can see all those nice orange hairs. Here's the other nugs, just so you can see. These are some small ones. Still frosty though. Very good looking. This nug is obviously the nicest. Excuse me. But I like how on the end of those pistils, it's, if that's the right word, not a grower or nothing, but it's like purple on the tip. Lots of green inside. And I'll break this nug open because fuck it if I can do it. Oh, I just got the tip. Not in half like I wanted, but it's hard with one hand. Look at that frost. Really good looking stuff. Now, as much as I hype this stuff up on the looks, because as you can see, it looks really good, it has really no smell to it. It's one of those strains where if you've ever gone to the dispensary and you've got something that's kind of old and you can tell like it could have been good maybe, or maybe it's just one of those, because I'm breaking it up, putting it to my nose, and it barely has a smell to it. You know, so for that, that's disappointing. Like, I'm taking this big nug as well. I'll grind some up as well. I don't think I've even tried smoking this one yet, just because I had all these other ones that had such like a, you open it, it's like, goddamn, that smells, Sometimes there are strains that look really good, but don't have too much of a smell to it, or they won't get you high. And then you have some strains that may not look the best. You might look at it and think it doesn't look that good, but you smoke it and you smell it and it's good. So sometimes looks aren't everything. That's what we'll say here. That's what, I've known that for a long time, but if you don't know, now you know. You learn something new every day. Yeah, even grinding it up and smelling it doesn't really smell like much, but see how it smokes, see if any flavor comes through. I'm sure it's smooth flower at least. Cheers, everyone. I guess when you smoke it, it's not that bad. It's pretty smooth. This one was called Blueberry Pie. I wouldn't say it tastes or smells any sort of blueberry-like or any fruit either. Maybe a little soft, creamy taste to it, but that's about it. Not a very flavorful one at all. Looks a lot better than it tastes and smokes. And usually I know if I smell something and it just smells like nothing, I know, all right, this is probably not going to be some top tier stuff or something that I'm going to be super excited to smoke on, no matter how good it looks. Now this last one is going to be my favorite one, the one I saved for the end, and that is gonna be the lemon skunk. It smells so good when I open this. I'm gonna tell you guys how this stuff smells because it smells so good, but close-ups first. You guys gotta see how this stuff looks because it looks great too. So this one is the lemon skunk, and first off you can see nice size nug and nice color. Got lots of purple in there. Looks pretty frosty. You can see I can zoom in there. And it's very fresh too. Has a nice freshness to it. Very sticky. Trim job, not the best. You can see there's quite a bit of leaves on there, but it's nothing I'm really complaining about because those leaves are still pretty caked up. But I really like this stuff mainly for the smell and the terps that I'm going to get into. If this stuff was cleaned up a little on the trim job, it'd be even better. But nice color to it. And it's also frosty. Let's see if I can crack that open. Delicious. So it's crazy because looking at this stuff, like comparing it to all the other strains, it doesn't look the best. I think some of those other strains have better bag appeal if you were to look at it. But this one has the best smell in my opinion, and that's just preference. I love this smell. So this is one of those strains that's really hard to describe without sounding too generic and just saying the normal basic terms like gassy and pungent, although a lot of strains that I like fall under those categories, so that's why you may hear me say gassy and pungent. But this one is different than like an OG that has like a pine to it. This is completely different, has a different pungent to it. What I would call this is like a deep bitter kush. If you've ever smoked an old school kush back in the day, this has that smell to it, but it's like bitter, not piney gas, not like an OG, skunky too. And this is called lemon skunk, so it makes sense. I'm not really getting any lemon scents from this. I would call this skunky, earthy, cushy, bitter, pungent gas. I know that's a lot, but it's one of those strains where it's hard to describe, but that's how I do it. That's how I would describe it. And of course, grind some of it up, see if any scents come out. I've been smoking this stuff quite a bit, so just stronger. Just smells how I originally describe it, but when you grind it up, it's just a little louder, just like a little bit enhanced. I wouldn't say any new notes came out or anything like that. This is gonna be the final hit. A little bit of a longer video, I'm not sure where we're at, but it is what it is. Cheers, guys. Hope you're all smoking along, and if you made it to this point, I really appreciate you. Put that back there for now. So flavorful. That one, incredibly smooth. Tastes almost exactly how it smells. Those flavors really come through. Out of these four, I would say the lemon skunk is my favorite. And then up next is the random runt strain that's kind of like a mix of something. It seems that I don't know what it is. And then the black runts, although that and the random runt strain were like neck to neck, it's kind of hard to put one over the other. And then lastly, the blueberry pie, which looks really good, but doesn't really have a smell to it and doesn't have much of a taste to it, so that one's going to be at the bottom. Nonetheless, I'm very thankful to have all these flavors. It could be so much worse. So if you have good weed, make sure you're thankful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys enjoyed this video, maybe go check out some of the other videos. OG out. Peace.